We move on now to our second major leading story. The multinational military force in Mali, dubbed the G5 Sahel, ended its first operation on November 11 after weeks of joint monitoring activities near the border with Niger and Burkina Faso. Codenamed Hawbi, the first operation involved the forces of Burkina Faso, Niger and Mali in the tri-border region, supported by the French forces of Operation Barkhane. The operation, many say, provided an opportunity to show that the G5 Sahel joint force was now fully operational and better poised in combating terrorism in a practical way.
Que dire des premiers pas de cette force?
What about the first steps of the force G5 Sahel? Are the peace ambitions of this new regional act feasible? So many questions we will ask this morning to Asharat Rahman, co-founder of the military political movement Tuareg, Movement for the Salvation of the Azawad, who granted Africanews an exclusive interview. Our journalist asked him if he thinks that the G5 Sahel can be a force that can bring peace to the Sahel area. Listen to his answer. I do not think that forces such as the G5 in the immediate or short term or even in the medium term can bring the peace so much sought after by the population, because in the region the crises are not of a security order only. They are mostly political first, and it is the non-settlement of these political issues that have unfortunately left fertile ground for foreigners who have often come from far away to settle in this region, given that no resolution of these local political problems. But if I have made an assessment of 2012-2013 to the present day. It is unfortunately that the insecurity is increasingly presented now. The heads of states at the level of the Sahel, that is Burkina, Mauritania, Mali, Chad and Niger, have organized themselves to put this G5 initiative that may be a reaffirmation of these Sahelian weapons in the context of protecting their states from their populations and their spaces. But is the G5 in its shape current alone will solve this problem? I think that the answer is no, for the simple reason that most of these weapons that make sense, that is to say, to fight this threat or to find a solution to this threat, are unfortunately weapons in the many of these local people who live in this area are not found, or the threat has become established.
Une bonne partie de ces populations locales-là qui vivent dans cet espace-là où la menace s'est installée.
It is obviously not easy for the G5 Sahel to collaborate, for example, when we know that it is a region of communities occupying this territory that are already armed. Our reporter asked Musa Ajat Rahman which solution he recommended.
Moi, je pense que la solution, c'est l'implication.
I think that the solution is the involvement of the people, because these people today, they must feel concerned about everything that is happening in their spaces. First, it is necessary to communicate with these populations, to make them understand what is a G5, what are its objectives, how will it work, what is the relationship that will govern it with these communities. And in a second time, in this space, there, as you had said it has armed movements that are present. It is not movement terrorists. It is a frequent movement that has had to sign the peace agreements with the central government that are involved in a peace process that is precisely sensible, and it brings an answer that is to say that this threat now that has settled in this peace. Therefore, it is a movement that we can now associate have reached. But as long as we are going to exclude all this mass, which is presented, which often controls cities, we are slowly implementing today in Mali, but as long as you're going to exclude all this mass which is armed, which is presented, which is often controlled cities, not to say spaces, and well, the mission is going to be very difficult. So I think the G5 needs to think quickly to see how far these armed movements and the communities at the local level can be involved in the success of the new G5 mission. By what the G5 is not Barkhane, and it is not the international forces. G5 is first of all our states, and we as Nigerians, Malians,